Emporium in Aurora, Colorado, here to talk to you today about ball python genetics. We frequently get people in our store who see the rainbow of ball pythons that we have, and they're amazed by all of the different colors you can get. And they often ask us, how do you get so many different colors out of the ball pythons? Well, the simple answer is genetics. Each of these guys has a pair of genes that control their appearance. We're going to talk about some of the inheritance patterns of those genes today. So for example, our piebald python here, this is what they call a recessive morph. So that pair of genes we were talking about, so we'll say the piebald gene, in order to be visually pied and have this white color and this aberrant patterning, he has to have 2 copies of that piebald gene. If he only has a single copy, then visually he will look like a normal ball python, and we call him heterozygous or het-pied. So a het-pied has 1 copy of the gene, a pied has 2 copies of the gene. Pretty simple, makes it pretty predictable what you're going to get. You pair a visual to a visual and you get all visuals. You pair a visual to a het and you get a number of visuals and a number of hets. So pretty simple, pretty easy to determine the outcome of a breeding between recessive gene animals like our piebald. So there is another type of inheritance I call dominant. So like this pinstripe here, this pinstripe ball python is what they call a dominant gene. So that means the single gene form and the double gene form of this animal are both going to be visually the same. So we don't know whether this one has 1 copy or 2 copies of the gene because they both are going to appear visually pinstripe. And this is a pretty little pinstripe too. And this one's actually a red xanthic pinstripe as well, so it messes with the pattern just a little bit. Gives it a little bit of a different color going on. That's nice. So one of the other modes of inheritance we have, they call a co-dominant gene. So a co-dominant gene, an example would be this Mojave ball python that we have right here. So the Mojave ball python is the single gene form of this mutation, whereas the double gene form is what they call the blue-eyed leucistic. There are a number of ball python morphs in the blue-eyed leucistic complex. Lesser, butter, Mojave. There's probably a few others. There's quite a few out there that will make pretty white snakes if they have 2 copies of the gene. But right here, single copy makes you a Mojave. So all Mojaves have a single copy of that gene. If they had 2 copies, you'd be blue-eyed leucistic. So that's codominant. So recessive, dominant, codominant, and then you start mixing and matching some of those genes and you can get an animal like our coral glow spider. So the coral glow is an example of what they call a dominant, some people say codominant gene, because the single gene form will still visually appear with this very just interesting, just pink and orange and lavender colors. And then this one also happens to be a mix of the spider gene as well. The spider gives it that very distinct pattern down the back, very distinct white on the sides. So coral glow spider, start mixing and matching and you get some crazy stuff. Alright, and there we go, there's our intro. Got all that? Feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe. Don't forget to tell your friends.